About 2 o'clock in the morning. They should be rolling through Acadiana close to daybreak, give or take an hour or two, depending on where you are in Acadiana. Also a low-end risk that we could see an isolated severe storm or two, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Rob is going to be talking more about that severe weather threat in his full weather forecast in just a little bit. Now the good news, the bulk of the activity should start to wind down by the afternoon hours. Can't totally rule out maybe a few spotty showers, but again, shouldn't be anything too terribly bad, and with any luck we'll stay rain-free for the performances tomorrow evening. Now, if you are heading out this evening, again, temperatures will be falling through the 70s, should bottom out somewhere in the, we'll say, upper 60s to near 70 degrees by tomorrow morning. Here's the 24-hour forecast, and again, we are looking at storm chances pretty high first thing tomorrow morning through about mid-morning, but then by the afternoon, things will start to settle down just a bit. So, of course, Rob is going to be talking a little bit more about that, and he'll have the full TrueView forecast coming up in just a little bit. That's going to do it for us for now. We'll be back for another live hit at 6 o'clock this evening. But Jim and Marcel, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Bradley and Megan. Now the work is underway to get the main stage, send LUS International, ready for its debut tomorrow. I was out there earlier today as crews were installing the stage and lighting equipment. The first performance at the main stage is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The opening ceremonies are set for 9, followed by this year's headliner, Lauren Daigle, at 9:30.
Well, if you are biking to festival this year, there's a free place for you to park your bike. The LCG Bike Lafayette Parklet is in front of the main library on Congress Street downtown. You can park for free, but donations to Bike Lafayette are encouraged.
This year, the bike corral is going to be located in front of the main library in this little parklet area in a closed down section of Congress Street. This is a cooperative effort between Bike Lafayette, LCG, and Trail. Bike Lafayette is providing all of the labor and logistics. Trail is providing all the bike racks, and LCG is providing all of the barricades and security.
If you don't live within biking or walking distance of downtown, the shuttle service is an option. The service starts tomorrow. The shuttle goes between Cajun Field and downtown every 15 minutes. The shuttle is free, but you do need to pay to park at Cajun Field. It's $15 per car, and they only accept credit or debit cards. For all things festival, we have your back. Just head over to KATC.com. Next tonight, one man will spend 5 years in prison after being convicted of bankruptcy fraud and tax evasion. A federal jury convicted Joseph Boswell Sr. of the crimes last year. Evidence showed Boswell, who was self-employed, established companies in the name of family members in an attempt to hide his income from the government. He was also convicted of evading taxes from 2001 through 2009. A hearing will be held in June to determine any restitution.
Now to a dangerous trend at schools across the country. There's been a spike in the number of fake emergency calls. New technology could be one reason why. Here's ABC's Andrea Fuji.
This morning, a rise in so-called swatting calls has law enforcement on edge.
The alert has been canceled, and they were getting an all clear from the OU campus.
One example, an active shooter scare at the University of Oklahoma. Law enforcement swarming the campus, but it was all a hoax, a phenomenon experts say has at least doubled in the last year. Since last June, about 250 colleges and 100 high schools have received fake reports of bomb or shooting threats, causing chaos and confusion and forcing law enforcement to expend vital resources. Experts say technology, including artificial intelligence, has helped swatters, allowing them to disguise their voices and help make their calls untraceable.
Technology is being used. You're using voice over IP. So these are not, old analog phones that are being used to call these in. This is all voice over the internet. It's all using AI and other tools.
So far this year, at least 173 mass shootings have been reported nationwide. Combine that with a number of these fake calls, and there's fatigue for everyone involved.
So the main issue is not only is it a traumatizing response to the people in the building and the teachers in the building, but it also sort of ripples out.
The FBI does not track swatting because it's not a categorized crime. Experts fear all these false alarms will prompt people to let their guards down, allowing an opportunity for something far worse to happen. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Acadiana seeing its share of swatting calls this year. St. Landry, Lafayette, and St. Martin Parish schools have all reported multiple arrests. All of those arrested were students. Happening tonight, the St. Landry Parish School Board could select a new superintendent. If someone is not selected, the board will instead decide on a final number of finalists for the position.
Saturday, Iberia Parish residents will decide on a proposition to finance Iberia Parish schools through a capital improvement plan. Our Darcy Ortiq explains how a yes vote will help fund school improvement projects.
There is a proposition on the ballot this Saturday to allow the Iberia Parish School Board to sell bonds in the amount of $62.5 million. Heath Hulan, superintendent of schools in Iberia Parish, says the bonds will be funded through the collection of property taxes.
This is an existing bond. It's a renewal. If it passes, there will be no increase to the existing millages that we collect in Iberia Parish, and there's be no increase to property taxes to the voters.
Hulan says the bond issue will directly benefit school projects. Some of those projects include increasing technology to improve safety measures.
Looking at increasing our technology, increasing the safety and security of all schools, and expanding and refurbishing facilities in order to make sure that our kids have a great place to learn.
Jennifer Regard is the principal of the Iberia Parish Career Center. She says the improvements toward school safety are especially important in today's world.
Detection systems, as well as the huge undertaking of taking one of our schools that are in an area that is becoming a little less safe for our students, is important given the world that we live in today.
Regard also says a renovation and expansion of the Career Center is long overdue.
And this building here is built in the 1960s. We have maxed out capacity as well, from electricity to ventilation systems with my welding department. We've maxed out our abilities in this building.
The registrars of voters will open their offices from 8:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night starting on Saturday. In Iberia Parish, Darcy Ortiq, KATC TV3.
And still to come on Acadiana's News Channel at 5, a new report showing the U.S. could default as soon as June. What this means for our economy coming up. Rob.
And storms across Texas this evening will be advancing toward Louisiana tomorrow morning, and with it a low-end risk of severe storms as well. We'll talk more about that, storm totals, and the weekend forecast, which is looking a little wetter for some days. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
From the KATC Weatherland, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, storms on the way late tonight prior to daybreak tomorrow, and it's going to be a little bit of a stormy start to our Thursday, but by Thursday evening, we think things will straighten out. We have a good-looking Friday. Unfortunately, though, Saturday is looking wetter. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. First off, though, we have a storm system to deal with over the next 12 to 18 hours, and that's across Texas, spanning up through Colorado, where there is still snow flying in the air as far as south as northeastern New Mexico. Meanwhile, we do have a tornado watch in effect till 11 o'clock tonight, and we might see more watches issued down the line. Strongest storms as we dial into not one, not two, but 10 Doppler radars across the region. We're spying on some supercell storms in that tornado watch area that are producing more than likely hail and high winds. Severe thunderstorm warnings going from the Brady, Brownwood area, mainly south and west of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area and near Waco, and then more strong thunderstorm clusters, but below severe levels for the most part, other than this supercell. That's between Cushing and Beckville in eastern Texas, just to the west of Shreveport. And you can see we do have showers and storms from Natchitoches on I-49 on northward, and a few spotty showers off to the north of us. But as we dial into Power Doppler 3, Acadiana's Doppler radar indicating a few scattered storms across the area. One isolated cell southwest of the Jennings area, moving to the north, going to cross I-10 shortly. A little bit of a sprinkle by Mermentau. And then we have had some shower activity in around our area, spying on a few showers north of the I-10 corridor, and then by Broussard out toward Lake Martin, where we're seeing some shower activity, and the activity close to home just north of I-10, just as we get north and east of Scott and up toward western Carencro, portions of western Carencro. And then farther south and east, we'll look at downtown. We don't see any shower activity here, but some close by the
airport and off to the southeast as we get into Iberia Parish, a couple of cells, a nice little downpour in Jeanerette. And today was about a 15% type of day, and it delivered maybe closer to 20% after all is said and done. But it should quiet down for the evening performances on Festival International. Now, the severe weather threat through the overnight hours, primarily across Texas, but notice almost all of Acadiana hatched in for a slight risk of severe storms, and that's how we start the day tomorrow. And we're mainly concerned about storms that could produce damaging winds. There could be some hail-bearing storms, isolated tornado possible, but not likely. So we'll have to keep an eye on the storms. And we're kind of on the cusp of where we might see a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch first thing in the morning, covering southwest Louisiana, maybe portions of Acadiana. We'll see how that plays out, but it's not a done deal. But notice strong storms crossing the state line right around 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it's pushing through Acadiana. And again, we'll have to be on the lookout for any storms that could produce, and they will produce strong and gusty winds. We just hope they're not damaging winds. That makes them severe once you get over about 65 miles an hour. So we'll have those showers probably through the mid-morning hours. Things begin to quiet down early afternoon, and then by tomorrow evening we should be good. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s for the big Lauren Daigle concert for tomorrow evening. Now moving on, getting into Friday. Friday looks to be a perfect day. It's going to be good for Friday evening, but getting into Saturday early doesn't look wet, but notice there's rain all around us and the upper level low. Sometimes these fill in, sometimes they don't, but we got to go at least with a 60% chance of rain for Saturday, and then those showers moving out for Sunday morning. Sunday looks good for Festival International. For rainfall, a half inch to an inch for most. Some spots will catch 1 to 2 with the rain and storms through the next 24 hours or so. Could add another half inch or inch of rain on Saturday, but we'll see how that plays out. So 68 the overnight low. You'll hear rumbles of thunder developing after about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and toward daybreak tomorrow. And then for tomorrow, a stormy start to the day for sure, with morning thunderstorms likely. Your rain chance at 90%. Again, that low-end severe weather threat with activity tapering into the afternoon hours, and should be drier into tomorrow evening, so we might even see a little sunshine by day's end. As we move it into the 10-day forecast, we have those high rain chances tomorrow. Friday looks good. 60% on your rain chance Saturday. Any showers lingering should be done with first thing Sunday morning, so no issues with Festival, we think, for Sunday. And then, of course, going into next week, we get 4 or 5 days in a row of some really nice weather. Wish we could get that now going into this weekend, but that is
make
the
it
nature.
happen.
Well,
come
on, Rob.
Could. It's just the nature and the randomness of Mother Nature.
Mother Nature, yes.
All right, sure is. Thanks, Rob. Still ahead tonight right here on Acadiana's News Channel at 5. Lori Vallow, the so-called doomsday mom, now on trial for the murder of her children. We'll have more on that story after the break.